right, man, let's jump into the injury report first. We got the final injury report and just some notable pieces to this report here. Obviously, questionable for Sunday's game. Josh Jacobs, who was back at practice today, limited. I think that was a good sign that they're probably just trying to hold him back as much as possible. He plans on playing Sunday. I would be very surprised if he doesn't go on Sunday. Of course, it does come back to whether or not that knee, the swelling in the knee goes down, obviously. Lucas Van Ness, questionable. Savion Williams, questionable. And Christian Welch, questionable. I believe today they were trying to get him out of concussion protocol. I imagine he is officially out of concussion protocol, although the questionable tab leaves things a little bit, blurry in that regard. Now, listed as out for the Packers, Brenton Cox Jr., Marshon Lloyd, and Colin Oliver. So immediately the conversation steers toward Marshon Lloyd, and the reason being, Tim, if I understood correctly, he had the hammy. That was the problem, right? The hamstring was always the calf he hurt the hamstring earlier in the year. That put him on IR along with a couple other injuries, right? And then he hurt the hammy, then he hurt the calf. He goes on IR, and now the hammy is back on the injury report. So I don't know how you feel, Tim, but I've kind of got to the point where Marshon Lloyd, they probably just need to shut it down for the year. I mean, if this is indeed a new injury here that's kind of popped up, and you guys let me know in the chat if y'all have heard something otherwise. That's the way I'm reading into the injury report here. As you can see, they've got it in bold there with the hamstring, meaning it's new. So it wasn't there yesterday to the best of my knowledge. So he's out. Colin Oliver out, no surprise there. And, of course, Brenton Cox Jr., no surprise there. They're continuing to ramp those guys up. They like to ramp them up for that full 21-day window before they make the decision, it seems like. So other than that, though, Tim, I mean, those guys aren't even on the active roster, right? They're just designated to return with the practice window open. Everybody on the active roster practiced today, which is, I think, a great sign. I think there's a really good chance that we see Lucas Van Ness this weekend, and we're probably going to need it, man. They got a stout running game over there in Denver. But how do you see this injury report here, like I said, with those just the notable parts of it, I guess?
I guess when it comes to, Marshon Lloyd, I'll use our disclaimer.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
In the words of Tupac LaFleur, so eloquently put, I'll tell you one thing. You want to know how I feel about Marshon Lloyd? I feel for Marshon Lloyd right now because – the level of talent that he possesses is undisputable, but you can't make the club in the tub. We said it 1,000 times. I don't think it's a knock on him. He's probably done everything possible to try and get back multiple times, but the writing's on the wall. Obviously had some kind of a setback anytime you're limited and then you're, not participating. So I'm going to say a prayer for Marshon Lloyd. And keep in mind, I mean, he's a young player. So there's no telling how he comes out of this on the other side, but I highly doubt we're going to see much of him, down the stretch here. But as far as the rest of the questionables, LVN, I'd love to see him back on the field, especially if he's over the hump and good to go. And then, Christian Welch, Iola's own, Mr. Wisconsin himself. Hopefully he's officially clearing the protocol as we speak, and we'll get some more information on him. And then, Josh, I'm with you. I think Josh is going to try and go. Like you said earlier today, suit him up, put him out there. If he has any kind of tweaks or anything, pull him off the field and, let the rest of our boys do what they do. I have full faith in Emmanuel Wilson, especially in a revenge game scenario in Denver. Give him the rock and let him do his thing. And, same thing with Savion, right? Particularly Josh, LVN, and Savion. You're all talking about, feet and knees and, lower extremity type of injuries. If they're working back and they feel like they can go, I say put them out there and then just have a contingency plan in case, you have a setback or anything. But what can you say, man? Brenton Cox Jr., he's been fighting to get back all year. Colin Oliver, this has been since training camp. What can you say about those guys? I'm hoping we get at least one of those two down the stretch, maybe a return from Brenton Cox Jr. in the next couple of weeks. That would be great. But I think it's probably a wrap for Marshon Lloyd and Colin Oliver on the year at this point.
Yeah, I agree, man. It sucks. And shout out to Chester Marco with gifting 5 Packer Fan Total Access memberships to 5 live viewers here. Thank you so much, Chester. We appreciate you, buddy. And, with Marshon Lloyd, it's tough. It's a tough situation. Nobody's surprised either. It's just he's been kind of just it's bad luck, really, Yeah. I mean, he was a hard runner in college. you didn't look at the tape and go, oh, no, this guy's going to get hurt a lot, right? He was a physical runner. He was someone who seemed to stay on the field based off of the information I had. I'm not saying he's never had an injury. I'm sure he's had his share at college as well, but nobody, I don't think, kind of seen this coming with Marshon Lloyd. You look at him, he's a specimen. And that's what Matt said his rookie year, early on here was in the process. I remember him saying, look, it's not like he ain't taking care of his body. This dude is in great shape, probably in better shape than anybody else in the locker room, right? So it just sucks, man. It does. And listen, this has happened too. There's been a lot of great football players throughout the history of the National Football League who never really had a shot to showcase how good they are because this type of stuff's happened right off the bat. It just sucks, So,
I agree.
All right, so moving over to the Denver.
Oh, sorry, Clay. Especially with running backs. I mean, we talk about Josh with the knee, the nagging knee injury and everything. Anything, below the waist for a running back is, it can be devastating. It really can. You'd almost wish Marshon Lloyd had an elbow injury or, a shoulder injury or something, compared to what he's been dealing with the calf and the hammy. So just feel for the kid. We really do.
Yeah, Jen Wright here says, think they might add Lloyd to the 53 for the playoffs. I think it's possible, Jen, but I don't know. I just I don't feel like this is a part of the plan here, right? And that's what makes me think like there's got to come a point where you go, okay, let's just shut it down for the year. Maybe they won't, though. Maybe they won't, and maybe that is the plan, Jen. You could be correct there. If I had to guess one way or another, I would say no, probably. But I hope you're right because, man, when we have seen him on the field in preseason, he looked like the fastest guy on the field. He looked like the most twitched up guy on the field. He really did. He was. I remember being really, really impressed with the minimal snaps he had. Anytime he got the ball, anytime I just remember that wheel route where it was like, holy cow, that dude got shot out of a cannon. It was great hands down the sideline, absorbed a big hit, held on the football. Unfortunately, that's a play that got him hurt too, but. We'll see, though. We'll see. On the Denver Broncos side of things here, really, really simple. Nate Atkins, full participation, so he's good to go. That's a tight end for them who's battling a knee injury. Pat Bryant, their rookie wide receiver, Wookie wide receiver, do you like that, is listed as out.
He's a Wookie?
Yeah, exactly. I did it all for the Wookie. So Bryant, rookie wide receiver with the hammy, did not participate all week. He is out for sure.
He was from Illinois, right? He was on our draft board, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah. We I want to say we had him around the 115, 120 mark, something like that. So pretty solid prospect. Sucks for him getting off the kind of a same type of start that Marshon Lloyd has, where he can't really stay on the field. And then DJ Jones, defensive tackle, he's good to go. Full participation with that ankle all week. Mike McGlinchey, tackle with the shoulder injury. He had no status Wednesday and Thursday. Friday pops up with a shoulder injury, it looks like. That don't seem right. I thought I seen him on the injury report all week. I think that you guys correct me if I'm wrong in the chat, but I want to say that's a typo. I thought he was on the injury report all week. Maybe he wasn't, but nonetheless, he did not participate Friday, and now he's listed as questionable. And then Ben Powers is obviously got that 21-day practice window open as well. He is listed as out. They went ahead and shut that down. His chance of coming back this week. Not that would have been a huge addition, but man, you'll see here in a minute when we break down our defense against their offense, their offensive line is solid. They are stout. Yeah. Mike Lynch is one of those players for sure. So, all right, moving along now. Before we wrap up this segment, I want to hit on this Vegas line, more or less the money, Tim. The line really hasn't moved at all, but you can see the money really settling in. You guys know we've been talking about how when 60% or more of the public money is on one side or the other when it comes to betting on the spread, the books have owned the public. So I like to kind of key in on where's the public's money against the spread, and that'll usually give you a good indicator or what chances you've got of team covering the spread or maybe not covering the spread, if that makes sense.
So me and his money.
So we're sitting at still at 2.5 points, Tim. The Packers are still 2.5 points, 2.5 point favorites on the road. PFF has it closer to that at 1.9. Point favorites, so about a half a point, a little more than a half a point, less, I guess you could say the Packers are favorites. We had it at 3 points on our PTA power rankings and our grading system. However, 69% of the money, 69% of the public's money is on the Broncos plus 2.5. You love to see that. You really love to see that because, again, the books have been owning the public It doesn't mean this could be the 1 or 2 games that the public loses this week, right? Or actually wins this week, I should say. So again, it's just you'd rather be on this side of the fence than the other, like we talked about last week, obviously. So that's where the money is settled in. Now, the money line, obviously, those statistics don't apply, but just for reference purposes, 60% of the public money is on the Packers to win outright, and 51% of the tickets are on the Broncos to win outright. Also, going back to the spread, we said 69% of the money was on the Broncos plus 2.5. 72% of the slips, the bets themselves, are on the Broncos as well. So this is lining up really, really nice for the Packers, the same as it did last week going into the Bears game. So is there anything you want to add there before we move on, Bob?
Yeah, just looking at the over-under on points, 42.5. I think that's pretty reasonable. But there is a big part of me that feels like these are 2 damn good football teams.
Oh, they are, man.
And, I almost want to take the under there. I'm not a sports bettor, but this could very easily be like a 30 points or less type of game. You could see a 17-10 or something like that type of game. So it's going to be close for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, so there you go. Just a quick little preview, if you will, the injury report and the betting line. Again, I think things are setting up really, really nice for the Packers to be able to go out there and take care of business. Now, again, like you said, these are 2 great teams. It's going to be a hard-fought battle. We want to hear from you guys in the comments. If you're watching this video back later, let us know in the comments how you feel about everything we just covered, the injury report, Mike McGlinchey being added to it. Maybe if you got some other information, you're watching this later, fire it in the comments. Keep us informed on what you're hearing on the injury front there as well. Let us know what you think about Marshon Lloyd. And make sure you hit subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. And make sure you spin those laces for us. You'll notice if you hit the like button on the channel, it'll spin a football. Pretty cool little emoji there. Everybody in the chat's been talking about it. I know we had several people commenting earlier on videos about it. It's a pretty cool little feature. So everybody in the chat right now, hit that like button, spin those laces.
Let's go. Hum that tater. Hum that tater.
Exactly right.